Now it obviously stands on its own, but if you're thinking of it also as a sort of a continuation of the previous one, where he's expelled from the city,
yes.
What are you thinking has happened here or is happening now?
Well, as a continuation of the previous painting, the outcast. Well, this man has gone through different trials, you say, like yeah. So after going through those trials, this man that once an outcast thrown out from the city, now he also has a shield there on there behind, hanging on the tree. He has a spear, and he's sitting on the fur of a big cat. Yeah. So this man on his journey into the woods, and yes, who knows what has happened there. He has learned skills. He has learned how to defend. That's why the shield there. He has know how to hunt. So he wears the fur of that big cat, and also has a spear if he can attack if it's necessary. But he also has a story to tell.
And he has fire.
Yeah, he has make the fire there, and people are looking at the fire, and this man is telling the stories of his journey. And with those stories, then the people, this group of people that live in the shadows, hiding in the woods, a bit away from the civilization, then they can start getting those stories coming a bit more out from the shadows, and who knows, I mean, they can become better, and they can learn a bit more about all the skills from this man. And yeah, so then this man comes, and yeah, the beautiful woman from the tribe also approaches to meet this foreigner. Yeah,
it's a love story.
Huh?
It's a love story.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what can happen after this, but yeah, this man could also become a tyrant, as the man on the first.
Yeah.
On the,
because now he's starting to represent security.
Yeah, and start building a town there, a community, and so that's the risk too. So,
right.
But then, in a way, I think according to these stories, it's said that the hero can become a tyrant if it doesn't die in a way, or it doesn't leave his position as a hero. So yeah, I don't know. And then what happens in between? He has the outcast, and this is now something that I have to think about. Where does he meet the mentor? That threshold that is crossed, finding the gold or the knowledge, and coming back or to society and the group, and give that knowledge to them and to share it, so then something can happen. So, yeah, that is what I have thought about this. So
that's great.
Yeah.
And you're going to make those images in between the outcast and this one also.
Yeah, I mean that gives the whole, as we have talked before, this whole circle of the hero's journey. Yeah, that kind of give me the clues about which paintings I could make to kind of complete the circle.
Yeah.
So that's something that I have to see, which are those peak moments. So 2 more paintings, 3 more paintings in between. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also speaking of what we talked about when you were painting on the outcast. If you just stick to impersonal situation, then you can create a really good story. So you could just pick, okay, what are the intermediate stages for this hero's journey, and then how can I depict that?
Yes.
And that gives you much more power in what you're painting.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you an anchor there where you can start building up stories based on the pattern, on the circle, on the hero's journey. Yeah. So then you can get from there, and then
I mean, you can see these classic ways of doing it, and then rather than finding internal things in yourself, you can see something that is internal and find your own situation in that.
Yes.
Also.
Yes.
I mean, you can go both ways, but I mean, you can construct a story.
Yeah.
Like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, well, I didn't think so much about it as a sort of a continuation, but it appeared then that, well, the man looks a bit like the outcast, and sure, why not? And then start getting familiar with this idea of Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, and then it was like, okay, then it just fits the rule.
Yeah.
So I don't have to put too much of myself there. So yeah. So now I see some things that I might have to solve here. But yes, there was a comment on this by a woman, that she said, "Oh, yes, so there comes the man and sits there and with his powerful image, and then the tribe just offers him the beauty." The beautiful woman from the tribe to him as a sort of kind of trade or exchange for his knowledge. But I said to her, I mean, if a man has learned how to defend, how to attack, how to hunt, how to tell a story, how to bring some knowledge to the community that could help everyone there, I think it's quite natural that the beautiful girl from the tribe will, oh, that man looks interesting. Yeah. So I think that's kind of the most natural.
They don't necessarily need to force her.
No, and nobody's forcing her. She's just approaching curious, a bit cautious, but yes. And this man kind of pretends a bit that she's not there. So he's kind of telling the story to all there. Yeah. So.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah. So.
Then the question is, what's wrong with this picture?
Yeah, what's wrong with this picture? That's important now. Well, of course, with more and more observation of nature and models, I could, of course, improve many of the things here in terms of proportion and a bit more natural feeling on skin and faces as well. So
you don't see any major changes to be made, rather than to just enhance what is already there?
I think so. I might change a bit one hand here or there.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the composition, structure and story, that is set.
Yeah.
What now I can do is exactly to improve details and elements on the painting, make some transitions better, soften some hard edges around. Yeah.
So they've been living in shadow, and then they come into the light.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's interesting that this is not necessarily intuitively correct, but that you've made the flame darker than the lights on him and her.
Yes.
Because you don't want the attention to the flame per se, but
yeah. Before it was brighter, but I wish I could remember, like everyone who is giving these advices, but well, I got that advice, like why not to turn down that fire a bit?
Yeah,
it's taking too much attention.
yeah,
And the light is kind of emanating from this man, is projected towards the woman there, and it's echoing that.
yeah. So you get a dark flame.
Yeah. And then it spreads a bit towards also the community and the people around. We have the elders there, the children, some other members of the family are there coming, and there's this little guy in the shadows, like seeing this man that maybe threatens the woman that he has been in love with, or he wants, but he's not strong enough. He's he has never gone out from this tent. Maybe it looks a bit sick, and has this kind of obscure look. So that might give.
There's some possible tension.
Yes. So that could be maybe the tragic, ending or last act of the whole thing. But I don't know. This is just playing with some possible outcomes of what can happen.
Thank you for checking out this video from the School of Apelles. To watch the full video and access our premium library, go to caveofapelles.com/subscribe and become a $10 patron. That's caveofapelles.com/subscribe.